Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I am on leechess.org and I'm going to play a 15-10 game. I am paired up against Little Plotkin. So it's been a bit since I did one of these. Let's put a pawn duo in there and see what happens. Okay. I'm going to go with knight f3. We've played quite a bit, myself and Little Plotkin. Probably bullet for the most part. Some 960 games actually. Okay, well this is pretty interesting because just before I started recording here, I was reviewing some AlphaZero games. So we're going to go in AlphaZero style and go for Fianchetto. Okay. Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting that we have this opening on board. So just going with the Fianchetto. And I'll give a shot with this gambit line, if allowed. In the AlphaZero games, there are several where d5 is in there. And basically pitch the pawn. Okay, now this is different. Now there is another... Okay, I'm not going to go with d5 now, for one. There is another AlphaZero game, though, that goes knight c3, and then shooting for a quick e4, e5. I think I covered that video, and I titled it AlphaZero and the Golden Knight. Could be off with that one. Or no, it was AlphaZero and the Connected Passed Pawn. Yeah. So I think I want to go with knight c3 here. What else to consider? I do have a little bit more time compared to previous videos. I think everything else was about 5-second increment. So I'm just thinking knight c3, castles. What's the difference? I can't stop d5. So, I mean, I'm expecting knight c3, d5 straight away. What I want to get in, the position I'm trying to establish here is knight c3, e4, and then e5. That's what AlphaZero did. But I don't think I could do this with the move order selected. I think it's one move short. I think bishop e7 was played before c6. Now, is this knight going to go anywhere besides c3? I don't think so. A castle. After all that, I'm going to castle. Keep the option open to maybe support c4 with my queen knight on d2. You know, this is one of the more sensitive squares when you make the decision to Fianchetto. c4 is a very sensitive point. Similarly, you could have situations where when the queen bishop Fianchettos, f4 would be vulnerable. Just kind of see some, just map it out there. Anyhow, I have to take some care over c4. And I think maybe even b3 here. I'm not sure I want to commit my knight just yet. And I don't know where I want to go with my bishop. Going to g5, that tension is quickly resolved. Bishop f4, I could consider bishop f4. Bishop f4 and then knight to d2. bishop f4 and a capture, I could just play knight here and pick up the pawn next. Let's give this a shot. Put the bishop on f4. I'll be welcome with the dark square bishop exchange if black goes for that. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to go forward with this. So, knight b to d2 it is. I guess this knight could be slightly irritating to my bishop. But after bishop e3, I guess the knight has nothing better than to return. So, I'm just thinking about rook c1. Any other candidate move here? I could consider jumping right in. Let's start with a guaranteed productive move. Rook a to c1. The c file will open up one way or the other. Alrighty. Well, knight to e5 is really the only thing that I have on my mind. Knight e5. Yeah, let's put the knight in the center. Okay. So, my bishop can see the world. I'm happy about that. That was one of the main points. I want to make sure my knight is out of its way. I have a bit more control over e4 now. Can't allow this bishop to be captured, so this decision should be pretty quick. Maybe e4. Be a bit careful with my queen, trying to do something that feels active at first glance. Capture, and then I have to be careful how I recapture. May end up in a fork, putting my queen on a4. Very sensible move, rook to c8. Is now the time to play e4? Or maybe just capture. That is also a possibility. In fact, if I capture and black recaptures with a c-pawn, c-file is completely opened, and the structure's symmetrical. Maybe then I feel a bit more confident about queen a4, although chop chop queen a4, I think a6 is fine. And then I'm running into b5, knight b6, knight c4. No thanks. Well, this is a dumb piece on d2. I could try to improve it. What happens after e4, actually? I don't know. I'm gonna do this though. I think I like this move. Just gonna try and overtake the d5 point. I believe the e-pawn should not be captured because my bishop's eyes will remain open. Okay. Now this is different. I have an opportunity to play e5. And in the AlphaZero games, loves e5. But I don't want to just do it because AlphaZero did it. I want to have some reason behind it, of course. It would certainly have an impact on the knight, on the bishop. This knight would be demoted. This bishop would be a bit more limited. The squares I control, pawn on e5. My bishop's eyes would be shut. Do I really want that? e5. And, well, it makes for an interesting structure, huh? Let's maybe learn something. I'm not familiar with this structure. I think this is a fine move. So let's just maybe learn something here. Now that, on the other hand, I was expecting knight here. Well, I feel like with this knight I could try to do something where I play against this guy. What is that exactly? Well, for starters, I don't think I want to see... I have some interesting ideas. Be a little bit careful. I was thinking c5. Chop, chop. But then there's maybe g4, bishop here, and then d4. My bishop dead? Maybe dead. The other option is to simply capture. And I don't think black can afford to capture like this, because then I would have a 4 versus 3 on the king side, move my bishop, and rush this pawn up to f5. So if I take, I'm pretty sure this must happen. Maybe I'll be quick to occupy the c-file in that position. I feel like this knight is going to struggle. And here's the other thing. If I don't make this capture, maybe black takes and then gets a nice square for the knight. At the 8-minute mark, maybe I just go ahead and capture on d5. What other candidate move? I'm not really seeing another candidate move. I could try and keep the tension for... No, I think I want to just try and play against this knight. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. The expected recapture with the c-pawn. Okay. Well, I was thinking bishop here. The bishop might get a little bit active here. Might this be too far-fetched of a plan? Trying to run my f-pawn up there? Maybe I shouldn't try to do too much. Maybe my plan should be to try and shut down this bishop. trying to control it and trying to do too much here. The knight, I feel, is going to struggle. And this bishop next. I don't want that bishop to have an easy time playing. Let's start with the queen here. This a6 b5 idea I was scared of earlier when the knight was on d7, and I had fear of it sinking into c4. If a6, then I'm happy in that I no longer have to worry about bishop a6 and it activating. So I can't stop b5. I think I just want to immediately relocate. I am opposite the bishop, that's unprotected. And so if a b6 move is there, also this queen is now restricted to defending b6, so if b5 I could think about a4. Where's this knight going? I don't know. I think I want to take the rook. No. Okay, this knight is a real dummy. This is a weak square with black's last move. Maybe I don't play a4. I think I wanna operate on this weak square. How can I do this? Queen here, knight here. Something like this is not I don't know if it's really far-fetched. I think I want my knight on b3. Yeah, let's start with this. Here's the other thing. A rook on c4 could be pretty irritating. So I want to keep in mind b3. Where's the knight going? Here and then here? Well, the rook can't go here, so I have an opportunity for this. Feels really good to do something like that. If I have time to get that in, that would be really nice. Well, I would get a pass pawn, so if yeah, let's jump in here. I might be okay if I give black a passed pawn, because when I capture here, I have a passed pawn as well, and I'm still playing with this space. I have to be on the lookout for g5, but okay, my bishop is fine. Has a square. I'm trying to play... Okay, yeah, the knight's... He definitely wants this square. I tell you what, I'm going to jump right in. And this is primarily against the knight. I do not want the knight to even step foot there. It's not one of those cases where, okay, when the knight is on c4, then I give it a kick. No. I just don't want the knight to arrive there, period. I think I'm strategically winning. Because this bishop and this knight, I think I'm suffocating these pieces. And I don't want to trade too much. Playing now with some space, I want to keep more pieces on, so that's why I'm opting for pawn takes instead of rook takes. This must be winning for me. I don't see how these pieces ever get productive. b4. We both have connected passed pawns, but I'm playing with space. Okay, and I may want to grab some more. Well, first things first, I might want to just stop this pawn sack. This queen here. I'm going to step up. The other thought I had was this. I think my opponent's playing too fast. Well, let's get my h-pawn playing. These forward moves by the knight are all negated by black's pawns. There's some activity like this, possibly, but my queen is a really dominant piece. Okay. Well, this rook is a dummy. And my opponent, without the bishop around, I can try and show that this bishop is pretty beastly. Yeah, so let's do this. I could go in for something like this, you know. Bishops both bearing down towards the king. I'm going to give that a go. Okay. Well, one thing I like is that I could back up with tempo now against the rook. Let's do that. I'm not afraid of one piece. It's just if black can go ahead and connect another piece with that rook, maybe that's a different story. I think I just back up now. Yeah, let's put the rook there. I think rook here is necessary. Stop queen d3. But I could insist on it. Rook c3. And then queen here. How is this being stopped? Let's find out. I'm going to go forward with it. Now, black may want to just take and then play here, but I'm pretty quick to slither on in there. Let's see. Opponent has more time than started with. 2 squares. And there isn't this convenient way to shut down this diagonal because of the pressure I have against h6. Okay, so this is the idea now. So after queen here, you could play this and you're not dropping this pawn. However, suppose I prep it first with h5. Yeah, just play h5. Now there isn't g6, and I'm ready to go to one of these two. Don't know if it really matters. Oh, I didn't consider that move at all. Wow, very nice. Okay, let's not panic. You know what I want to do? I want to make sure this doesn't even hit. So let's start with this. Let's not rush it. Queen d3, queen g8. I could have considered maybe doing that first and then after queen here, then going to d4. Okay. Well, I wouldn't mind getting this rook off. What about attacking this this rook with my bishop? Where would that rook go? Yeah, let's do this. Could go with some regrouping. 406. I want to have this option that, you know, if black ever tries to get active on the A file, I just go here and force the queen back. Yeah. I think I want to release the pressure against this pawn. There are two pieces. Could strike there. So let's step up with this bishop. I want to keep this around as my king shelter. Yeah. I could put both bishops here and all of these squares would be covered from the rook entering. Let's try that. Let's, I gotta get some faster moves in. I mean, I'm in a position where I could try something like this. Maybe my king is a bit more safe on this square. Let's go with this. Off the back rank. Not going here, because I want to be able to move my queen, and black, I think, given an opportunity, is going to push this pawn. This is the only pawn break I have to worry about. But I wouldn't mind seeing it open up a little bit more. Maybe there was something better than king here. Okay, I like that I could return here with check if I want. Tell you what, maybe we just negate this f6 pawn break altogether. Everything is covered here from the rook. Knight here would just block things out, so still black is playing without the minor pieces. I mean, if I had more time, I'm pretty sure I would find a correct plan here. Okay, prepping f6. Maybe this. Rook up and over. Why not? Let's give that a shot. How's this knight ever going to get active? Here, no. Here, he's dead, like, wherever he goes. Here, the pawns kill him. Black pawns kill him, and here, my pawn kills him. This bishop stuck behind this pawn. I always has to watch out for this. I'm forgetting that I even have this guy around. Rook here. Let's put some pressure. Okay. Well, I'm going to go here. So now I'm less fearful of this. If the queen tries to get active, I'm just not going to allow. I'm going to go back home. This was my idea. I expected that move to be pulled off in a blink. Now this bishop's going to hit here, and this rook has a responsibility. Just want to keep black out of my house. Yeah, it returns. So maybe I could return here. Have my bishop be the one that makes sure this pawn doesn't budge. I'm giving up this square, but my queen could... Wow, okay, I was not expecting that. That cannot be good. I'm going to get this. Here's the other thing. Well. Wow, okay, I could take on Poisson. Chop. How is black going to defend this dark square? Chop, chop, here, 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 here. My bishop will find something productive to do. Okay, I think everything is just pointing at open the position up for the bishops. Taking with the pawn so the rook has lateral movement. I mean, I could start thinking about exchange sacrifices here. This is probably a move as well. Let's see. Yeah, taking with the pawn. Well, there is the rook that could defend. Okay. Okay, this bishop is a dummy. But how about this move? Looking at this. I don't know if I want to allow the trades. No, let's go here. Stopping rook f7, threatening that. Oh, there's king there. Huh. Let's pull the bishop back. I'm really thinking about putting the rook here. I still have a passer. Would I be winning if all major pieces are off? Bishop pair ending? I want to get at the king, though. Suppose I do this. Threatening this pawn. Threatening this pawn. I think I like that move. Rook takes, queen takes. I could, yeah, if I do all that, I don't want to bring it to that point, though. I gotta go faster. Striking here now. The strategy to put pressure on me on the clock is working. Don't know. It's getting down to the wire here. I'm glad there's the 10 seconds increment. If g5 chop chop f4, am I not going to win that pawn? Also rook f6. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Don't think I could take advantage of that pin. Queen takes pawn. Queen takes pawn. Pawn takes rook. Queen takes bishop. That's gotta be good. These checks as well. I'm gonna give this a go. I have not calculated it all. I'm gonna allow pawn takes rook. Yeah. Now is this check anything? I think I want to keep that in my back pocket. Alright. I'm going to take with the pawn. I don't want to see the king move with the discovered check against my king. So now there's no more blockader of my passer. As long as my king is safe, I'm pretty sure I should be winning. This knight is a long way off from posing any danger to my king. Everything is just opened here for Team Black. King here, I could pick off this pawn. Got two passers. Black has a passer, but I'm realizing that late. It's because it's not really a factor. So let's see, capture here. I have an easy reply, just a recapture. King there, preparing to run. Queen takes pawn is a blunder. You want to take here. It is with check, but no, I'm opening up a file for my king. What about... Rook here, possibly. I have this square covered by the bishop. Maybe I should just take that. Push here, rook here. Here, check. I gotta do something quick. Feel like the king is slipping away a little bit. What's the material count? I'm not down any material. The knight will be recapturing. I'm trying to control the queen. Oof. I want to do this, support my bishop. Fortunately, I'm covering still a lot of ground from the queen, but this has gotten out of control. It's sharpening up. It's tough. Threat here is e6. Maybe I could do that. What would I do on rook f3? Rook f3, e3 still. Bishops are covering quite a lot of ground. I try for that. I keep my queen in a position where it could give checks. This must be the right way forward. Maybe this and then this, if the rook isn't guarding f5. To watch for this file. Got that square covered. Yeah, where does the rook go? One of these two. Possibly. Rook f1 here, knight f6. Maybe I bolt with this pawn as well. Or actually, I think I want my king here, off of this file, avoiding those checks, and maybe then I'm ready to slip in here. Maybe I shouldn't be too fast to rush with this pawn. Control the knight. Rook here, trying for this. No. Okay, that. Let's do this move. Let's go right here. Okay, yeah, it's getting kind of tricky. Step up here. And check. I think I have to try this. Scary. It's definitely scary. Let's get this pawn rolling, actually. I'm covering this now. I can't push this pawn, though, because of this pressure here. This knight is still under control. I have this square covered. Very interesting game. Keep these squares under control from the queen checks. If either major piece releases pressure of this bishop, I could consider this. Zugzwang? Where's the queen go? Does the knight move? Maybe oh, I'm just seeing I have this move here, and then I have a nice check, possibly. I think I want to let this connected pass pawn bolt. Okay, I'm glad I at least spotted that. No, there is no check. I got that covered. My pieces are guarding a lot of the checking squares. I like that I have this in. This is a nice configuration to have. Okay, queen there. Can I not give some checks now? And give this check next. I'm winning. This check first. King has to go here, and then I pick off the queen. Let's do it. Okay. Queen here, check. Am I missing anything? Don't think so. Playing this one out, I guess, to mate. Is there a mate? I have 20 seconds to find it. I could always just get the queen. There's no fancy stalemates. Okay, I'm just picking up the queen. I'm sure there was a mate there. There's no stalemates. Yeah, they just resigned. Wow. I guess reviewing those Alpha Zero games just before this game kind of helped. I was in this mentality to just kind of restrict pieces. Alpha Zero has a tendency to do that in all the games we've seen, one way or the other. And oftentimes it was related to the light square bishop, and I kind of managed to do that in this one. All right. A quick GG. And before I stare at it with the engine, yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time here with, castles or knight c3. I just can't really remember the move order. I think maybe this was in, and then castles. I'm sorry, this was in, and then after knight c3, c6, and then e4. And after d5, e5 was in there. It's just a move off. Yeah, I'm glad that kind of experimented some with this pawn on e5, this structure. I felt that maybe knight d7 is a better move. We could look at that briefly once I dive into the analysis. Knight d7 with the idea of supporting c5. So, okay, I got a pawn on e5, and yeah, we kind of, it starts to get very strategic, and I think I'm just winning from here. Wouldn't be surprised to see the graph always in my favor from this point on. Maybe even after this move, it's quite difficult for black, because these guys just never got active. So, and I probably should have had a quicker knockout. I had plenty of time to establish this kind of grip over the king side, this space on the king side. Just wanted to neutralize the rook, and I probably could have done something different after this g5 move. Again, I was already thinking about rook here stuff. I think I made a right decision here to capture on e6. Yeah, well, we'll have a look at that. And I had to be a little bit careful, but these guys cover a lot of ground. I don't think I gave black any opportunities here. It was easy to go wrong. This might be a Zugzwang position. Yeah. What's the knight do? What's the queen do? As I was pointing out, if either of these move, then I could push this pawn. This guy's eyes are opened, and I think I'm then looking to get into the h6 square, but okay, let's look at the analysis here. See what it has to say. I clicked on it. Okay, maybe I just need to refresh. It should be running. I wonder why there's not a computer analysis isn't going. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody already. There are some spectators here, so maybe somebody clicked on it and it's crunching the numbers right now, but it's still showing request a computer analysis button for me. Okay, but I could still flick this on and see what Stockfish has to say going through this one. So yeah, again, kind of funny that this happened. Reviewing AlphaZero games, and we go right into pretty much the main opening that we saw in the AlphaZero games, Queen's Indian Defense, where in all those games that we saw, AlphaZero was playing with white. Now, this game that I was trying to recall, I believe it was bishop e7, knight c6, and then after c6, e4. So I just want to highlight this variation. This is basically what happened. Castles. Oh, bishop here. How did this go exactly? Oh, no, it was this, actually. The bishop gave a check, bishop d2, and then the bishop returned. And then knight c3. And after this, pawn is here, knight is here, castles, the bishop returns. And then this was the star, well, not quite the star move yet, b3, chop, chop. And after takes, this was the move. What is Stockfish 9 saying? Yeah, Stockfish 9 suggests b4, but just this idea. I titled that video, if you haven't seen it. AlphaZero and the protected pass pawn. Currently, white is down a pawn, and it's a big pawn. But the deeper point is that there's some space on the king side and the bishop that's kind of hemmed in. So, okay, we didn't get in that position here. But that's what I was trying to recall. during the game, but the moves weren't just right. So bishop f4, knight d2. Is that analysis working? I'm going to do another refresh. I don't know why there's a... There we go. So that's how it's looking. All right. So there wasn't an opportunity for black once I had an advantage, which was at the e5 point. Go figure. Throw a pawn on e5 and everything is wonderful. No, but where is it maybe a tiny bit better for team black? After I play bishop takes e5. Yeah, knight takes g4, or not knight takes g4, but knight g4, and then after this, g5. Oh, okay, I have to be very careful now. If knight g4, I can't back up because of this very weakening, but yeah, this lashing out move, I don't want to go here. There's a suggestion to take here. Okay, that certainly has its points. So let's just say there's a recapture. Oh, then I have a square at least. Suppose there's that as a recapture. Oh, okay, then things get really sharp. Okay, yeah, this is a super committal move. That would, black would have to crunch the numbers on that for sure, but made them more natural. Move knight to d7. I back up. I got e4 in. It does like e4. And it suggests black go ahead and take one of these two. Now it's leaning more towards this. Now in the game I was saying that maybe this was the better decision, to not have my bishop's eyes open so easily. But it's certainly improving a poor minor piece. My knight would be happy about recapturing there. Oh yeah, and then I could function on the d6 square. I start to coordinate well. And after this capture, well, I could do similar. But I guess I'm not establishing a pawn on e5 in this variation, and there's the move c5 now. Very thematic. Open the bishop's eyes, strike at the center. Black did none of the above in this one. And once I got e5 in, I guess things are looking pretty good from here on out. It's a controlled position. Does it like queen to a4? It likes queen a4. And wants to exchange rooks. I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly is gained by exchanging the rooks. I know if the bishop had to recapture on c8, that would be some success. The bishop's demoted. But whether the queen is on the home square c8, I don't think it's an inconvenience for black. I don't know. I thought keeping the tension was fine. And now queen d3. Rook takes c8 again. Queen d3. It's bouncing back and forth. I went with queen to d3. And I think this is the way you have to do it. Well, maybe that's a bit too strong. I think this is very logical. Black just gave me a square to work with, so let's point some pieces there. So knight b3 to c5 it is. And this just, as it turns out, he's never going to get to c4. Especially after I'm recapturing with a pawn. And again, I want to keep pieces on, so I want to keep majors on, playing with the space. So structure change, it's just a controlled position. In that protected passed pawn video, that's kind of, I wasn't saying it during the game, but we had this kind of stuff with the bishop's repositioning and doing a good job controlling many of the d-file squares. Actually, the d-file was completely opened, or eventually it became opened. Yeah, in play ensued on the king side. It kind of went in that path in this game, I just had to watch for little things. I really got to express a lot in this game while I was playing. That's why I'm kind of zipping through this post-game analysis. It's controlled position. These guys just are not playing. And I just want to see how I could have maybe approached this a little bit different once G5 was in. What is it saying here? Maybe I didn't do too bad then. It didn't really go down much after that, so maybe I approached it okay. I captured that. It feels like that's just, it's got to be the right way forward. I don't think, capturing here helps out one of black's pieces. The rook has some nice lateral movement. But there are so many other positives that I get by capturing. It's the bishop pair. These pawns are now further away from the king. He's not as comfortable. And just targets now. And this is the other thing. E6 becomes a target. And sure enough, in the game, it fell. I actually want to question that at that point in the game. This appears to be all right. Yes, I'm happy about this. Now, not sure how much time I devoted to this one. Yeah, about a half a minute. But in the end, I guess it was a best move here. Queen takes e6. And queen's just getting really active. And, yeah. Threatening to go here with check and pick up the pawn next with check. Queen h4. I want to have this possibility available. And yeah, I realized this a bit too late, so I could take off with c6. Thing was only once my king was here, and I had this bishop and pawn structure that I realized, oh, I have this c6 move. Realized that a bit too late. But I kept control here. Bishop f5, queen f4 check, back to bishop f5. I guess I hit at some good moves here along the way. So I'm happy about that. And g4, queen f4. Yeah, and something else needs to be done here, clearly. Instead of queen there. Tough moves to make, right? King to g8, rook to c1, releasing pressure against the bishop. Not tough to, I don't know. You want to keep pressure on your opponent's position, so you could see why you would not want to consider a move like rook to c1. It's not like you're eyeing up an additional check. So, if rook to c1 in this position, what could I do? Oh, e6. Yeah, I was pointing out, as soon as there's not pressure here, I could play e6. Rook to c3, that would have caught me off guard. I don't have to take it, though. Could back up. These bishops are killers. This knight, I don't know if we could really call it a knight. It's definitely not a three-pointer on the back rank there. And from here, it's just gone. I'm able to cover any color square with these two guys around it. With the assistance of the e-pawn, makes things easier. Yeah, I guess the last thing to check here is what was the mate exactly? Instead of capturing the queen, queen h8, king e7, bishop f6. Huh. That would have been a nicer finish. Just have to control e6. Here, and here is mate. But okay. Got the queen, and they resigned here before king takes rook. Okay, well, it's been a while for a rapid game. It used to be classical. This is now a rapid time control, 15-10. I think I'll stick with 15 plus 10 increment. It's a longer video, but have some more time to share my thoughts. Anyhow, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this one in the comment section below. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll catch you soon. That's all for now. Take care.